Hello, my name's Stuart. I'm a former professional record dealer and classical record collector. So just to say, I made this video already. Unfortunately, there was a sound fault from about 7 minutes. Thank you to the person who notified me of that, and I've decided to make the video straight away again. I wasn't really happy with how it went earlier anyway, so I never get fed up talking about records, so I'm going to go through the whole lot again. Yeah, so I managed to get hold of a collection. I saw a collection advertised for £50. I liked the photograph. It showed the records. How there's about 70 LPs and a few box sets for £50, and they look good enough to go out and investigate. So I went to investigate, and I bought them. I've got them here. I'm going to go through them just to show you what I've got. Just briefly though, he was a very nice gentleman in his mid to late 60s, former school teacher, had a huge house. He was downsizing and he was selling his records. The only thing that surprised me about them is that I'm surprised he had so many. So few. 70 records and a half a dozen box sets is not really that many. When I was in my early 30s, I had 1,000 LPs. I was collecting like crazy once I discovered classical music. So I don't know why. Maybe he's already sold some. I don't know. He didn't say, but this is what I've got. So let's go through them. First of all, the Deutsche Grammophones. He likes Deutsche Grammophon. Let's go through them. So we've got Mozart from the Carl Böhm set, the DG set from the 60s. There's a box set. It would be nice to get the individual LPs. I've got one here. It's Symphony number 40 and number 41. That's Carl Böhm. Most of these are actually English pressings, not German. Oh, this one is German. But most of them are actually UK pressings. Of course, I prefer the German pressings if it's DG. So we've got another Mozart one here. Symphony 35, 32 and 38. Is that German? Let's have a quick look. Yep, that's good. And we've got this one, number 39, number 36. That's German too. Well, so I'm delighted with those three. I'm going to try and collect all of the Carl Böhm Mozart symphonies and separate LPs rather than the box set. That would be really nice to have. So I've got those. Let's keep going with DG. I've seen this record so many times. The collections I used to buy, Argerich, Prokofiev and Ravel sonatas. Is it a German pressing? Whoops, something happened there. No, it's a UK pressing. We've got Frank Marzel conducting. It's on a Privilege, which is a budget label. No problem with that. That's a UK pressing. So I don't see that too often, actually, or at least I didn't used to see it too often. So we've got Liszt here. I'm delighted to say Hungarian Rhapsodies. I'm delighted to say not orchestral version. This is Roberto Sidon playing the piano. That looks like a Hungarian name, Sidon, judging by the spelling there. So let's just have a quick look. Yep. I think he's Hungarian. Yeah, so that should be good. Some of the Hungarian Rhapsodies, the piano. We've got Grieg here, Peer Gynt suites. That's on is that a Privilege? No, it's no, I think it is a Privilege. It's a 135, which tends to be, it's a German pressing. I think that is a budget version, but that should be okay. Sorry, it's not Marzel. It's Richard Krauss. Richard Krauss. The Planets, I've seen this one many a time, this cover. I'm sure you have as well. It's quite amazing, actually. It's quite an amazing cover. It's very shiny on the front, kind of almost like a mirror. Can you see that? That's incredible. So great piece of music. The Planets, absolutely love the Planets. One of the great pieces of music to come out of Britain in a long time. The orchestral suites, Karajan conducting, that's going to be big band Bach. I'd rather hear Pinnock probably in Gardner than Karajan, but I'm sure that will be nice. It's the Berlin Philharmonic or members of the orchestra. Zuckerman here doing the Beethoven violin concerto and romances. I wonder if that's a German press. Yes, it is. Karajan, Brahms Symphony number 4. You don't often see this. You know, I'm really pleased with that. It's my favourite Brahms symphony, and I've not heard that performance, so I'll be looking forward to hearing that. I know that it's a German pressing as well. I know that Karajan was big admirer of Brahms, and he does it big, and I think that Brahms should be done big, big style, grandiose Brahms. Later on, Karajan became a bit sluggish. Don't really like his 80s performances in digital, but his 60s, 50s, 60s, and 70s work is pretty good. Berlioz here, Karajan again, Symphonie Fantastique. I haven't heard that one, so I'll be looking forward to that. That's a UK pressing. And here we are, we've got one of these wallets, sort of cardboard wallet. It's like a gatefold, but it contains 2 records. I suppose it's alternative to a box set. And DG brought these out in the 70s. I've seen Don Giovanni, I think, a Mozart opera, in one of these types of sets, but they're fairly unusual. You don't often see them. And this one's got Joachim and Gilels with the 2 Brahms piano concertos. Let's just see what the pressing is. That's German. Good. German pressings tend to fetch more money. You know, I'm talking about selling. I'm going to be talking about value of some of these as well. Unless I say anything, you can assume that most of these, if I'm selling them, which I will be doing, I've got to, because I've been spending too much money on records. I've got to sell some of them. I've got duplicates too. Most of these I'll be selling for like £4 or £5 a piece. Unless I say otherwise, that's what most of them, I put that kind of value on them. Bruckner, Symphony No. 4, Karajan. Really pleased to see this. This is the one, Bruckner Symphony, I really like. And I'm just getting into Bruckner. And yeah, so that's a good one. Let's just have a look. That's a UK. It's actually got a price label on it, $3.59. That may well be the original price label. That's what they used to sell for in those days. Brand new, £3 to £4 in the 70s. Okay, Karajan again. We got Dvorak New World Symphony. And I've not heard that. Yeah, so that's a UK performance. That's a very common record. I've seen that one so many times, dozens of times. Dvorak Symphony No. 8, not my favorite Dvorak symphony. I like No. 7 the best, probably, then the New World, then this one maybe. I don't like any of the others. So there we are. We've got Kubelik there, conducting the Berlin Phil. That's a UK pressing. Now this is unusual. Bernstein, Beethoven Symphonies 1 to 9, recorded 1980. I believe live recordings, and they're all in analog, which is good. So I think that he might have done another set later on in digital. So I don't know whether I'm going to keep that. I tend not to like Beethoven box sets, but that's an unusual box set. If I was selling that, I don't know, I'd probably want about £30 for it. Yeah, probably. I might not get it, frankly, but I'll try. Mendelssohn's Scotch, this is a duplicate. I picked this up last week. I did listen to it. I like it. I prefer Peter Maag on Decca, but this is a good reading. But Maag's has just got that extra, particularly in the finale. He really kind of captures the atmosphere of the clans coming together, and you know, it sort of oozes emotion and sort of Scottishness. Karajan is a little bit forced in the final movement, but otherwise it's pretty good. Let's just have a look. Yep, English pressing. Here we are, famous cover there, Elvira Madigan, the concerto that got me into Mozart big time, Piano Concerto No. 21. There was no looking back after I heard this concerto. I just thought it was so absolutely phenomenal that there was just no looking back for me in Mozart. It got me into classical music big time. Yep, that is a really common DG, and it's got the excellent G major concerto on it as well. Number 17, K453, which was an absolutely phenomenal concerto. The level of invention in the third movement of the G major piano concerto is absolutely mind-blowing. You know, it just is incredible. I think the Mozart piano concertos are the best ever composed. I think that Mozart is without equal in the piano concerto. He's the king of the piano concerto. He's also the king of wind concertos, by the way. So, you know, anyway, that's just my opinion. No doubt many of you will disagree. Okay, Tchaikovsky Symphony No. 6. We've got the great Mravinsky. For me, the best recorded Tchaikovsky symphonies on record, Mravinsky. No. 6 there, the Pathétique. We've got Tchaikovsky again. And we've got Ferdinand Leitner, the Capriccio Italien, which I'm pleased to see, Serenade for Strings. Haven't got the Capriccio Italien. I do love the piece, so that's good to have. That's on the Privilege, and that's an English pressing. Here we are, Mravinsky, Tchaikovsky number 4. Now the fourth, this is the best actually, I think, of the 3, 4, 5, and 6 that Mravinsky did. The intensity in the first movement of the Tchaikovsky 4 in this has just got to be heard to be believed. It's absolutely incredible, and on vinyl, not on digital, not on streaming. Hear it on vinyl, sit back, listen to it, not too loud, and it will just absolutely blow you away. The intensity, the coda and everything, just it leaves your mind reeling. It's just absolutely unbelievable performance, better than any other Karajan, any of them. Forget it. Mravinsky is the king of the Tchaikovsky symphonies. Okay, Argerich. Here we are. We've got Tchaikovsky Piano Concerto number 1 and Liszt Piano Concerto number 1. So on signature, that's an English pressing. That should be good. Smetana, Di Maldo and Dvorak Serenade for Strings, which I don't think I've heard actually. Kubelik, the Boston Symphony Orchestra on Privilege. That's an English pressing. Karajan again. Sibelius number 6 and number 7. You know, with Sibelius, for me, it's number 1, number 2, and number 5. I could never get into any of the other symphonies with Sibelius. It's really strange. No matter how many times I listen to them, they just sort of seem to come and go, and nothing really much happens. I don't know. It's really weird. Maybe in my old age, I'll discover some of those Sibelius symphonies that, at the moment, well, here we are. Symphony number 3, Sibelius. Maybe I'm listening to the wrong. Been listening to the wrong conductor. Oko Kamu, I think he's possibly Finnish. So there we are. That's an interesting one actually. I like the cover on that. That is an English pressing. Kamu again, Sibelius Symphony number 2. So one of my favorite Sibelius symphonies. And what is that? That is an English pressing. And Kamu yet again, Symphony number 1. I like this Sibelius symphony. I love the jacket on this one. Beautiful jacket. Yep, so that's a good one. Okay, and then of course the Mozart, complete Mozart, 12 LPs, Geza Ander, playing the whole lot, and this is in superb condition. You know, having said that, I'm actually collecting the individual LPs, so I may well sell that. If I do sell that, it's in superb condition. Probably I'll be selling it for about £30. And by the way, if you're interested in any of my records, and I mentioned any prices, let me know. And if you live in the UK, or even if you're overseas, because I'm going to be listing a lot of these on my eBay shop, and when I've got a good number, I'm going to post a link below. Okay, EMI. All my records that I'll be selling will be double checked, all with no marks on them. Make sure the surfaces are silent, so you won't have any problems for the ones that I sell. So I don't like selling, I won't sell damaged records or any records that, in today's world, you need to be getting records in absolutely superb condition. Otherwise, let's face it, not really worth listening to. Okay, so A Midsummer Night's Dream, Previn. I've seen this for sale as much as £35–40. I don't think it's worth that much. I'll be selling that for about £15, I think. I've got 2 copies, so I will be selling that one. Yep, so we've got Menuhin here. A famous record, this. I don't tend to listen to Menuhin. It's got a large dog, 1980s label, very late ASD. The original, of course, is a white gold, and then the second label is a semicircle dog, as we call it in the trade, and then a dog stamp, and then a large dog, 1980. There's Menuhin. Frankly, you know, he's worth listening to on 78s, but his latest stuff, I mean, violinists don't age well. They play at their best in their late teens and their 20s, their 30s. They start to lose it because the violin is just such a challenging instrument. You can't maintain that quality. You know, I'm sorry, some of you may disagree, but you can't. Okay, so that's Menuhin, and yeah, Menuhin's not worth listening to anything that he did in the 60s. Okay, Brahms, Symphonies 1–4, Giulini. I'm not familiar with these performances. I think possibly they're from the Columbia SAXs from the 1960s. That actually is a German EMI. I'll just show you the label. You know, I don't know what I'm... So, sorry. There's a German EMI label. Yeah. So, I'll have a listen to that. I'll probably sell it, though. I'm not that keen on box sets. Okay, we've got Britain, Previn, the 4C interludes. That is a large dog. 1980s large dog pressing. I'm sure these will sound fabulous because the 80s records tend to be very silent surfaces, and you know, they're fine really. Maria Callas in mono when her voice was absolutely in its peak condition. I'll be keeping this. I won't be selling this because I'm a big Maria Callas fan. Huge fan of Maria Callas. There's nobody, I mean, for me, she's the singer of the century. She really is. If I could go back in time, you know, and go to one of her concerts, I would pay a lot of money to do that, believe me. Yep, so that is fantastic. Really glad about that one. Got Polini. This is my favorite Chopin Piano Concerto number 1. Polini, that's from the White Gold ASD, and he's in superb form in this, sparkling form. That's a large dog 1980s concert classics pressing. Here we are, Perlman playing the Brahms Concerto. It's on a dog stamp, so it's the early pressing for this record, and I'm not sure if I'll be selling this, but if I am selling this, it'll probably be 15 or 20 pounds. I haven't checked eBay. It may well be this is a bit too common to fetch 15, 20 pounds, and it may well be that it's only worth a fiver, but I don't know. I think that should really be worth about 15 pounds, but whether it would fetch that, I don't know. Okay, Menuhin and Goossens, they're doing some Vivaldi, Bach. That's a dog stamp, but it's a concert classics, so that's in really nice condition. Barenboim, Zuckerman and Perlman, Bach concertos. That's a good one. Let's have a look at the label. That's a large dog. It's not going to fetch any money. I mean, it would maybe fetch a tenner if it was a dog stamp, so I'll be keeping that, probably. I won't be keeping that though. The Elgar Concerto with Menuhin playing in the 60s. I'll be hoping to sell that. And that's a dog stamp, so I mean, it's a late label for what this is. The early label is a semicircle dog. So that's a dog stamp. It might be worth a fiver. I don't know. Elgar Enigma Variations with Bolt. That should be good. Yep, it's got the Thomas Tallis. Sorry, it's got the Fantasia on green sleeves. So that is that a dog stamp? Yeah, that is a dog stamp. I'll probably be keeping that one. I won't be keeping that though. Previn, a very common record. I probably won't be able to sell it. But if I do sell it, I'll be selling it for about £4 probably. It's plays Gershwin, An American in Paris, Rhapsody in Blue, Concerto in F. So yeah, I will be selling that. Probably won't sell this, the Bach Brandenburg Concertos with Maximuk conducting. And I've not heard that, but I don't know, I just fancy keeping it somehow. It's volume 2, so I'd like to try and find volume 1 to make a set. EMI Eminence, which is a good budget label from EMI. Rodrigo Concerto d'Aranjuez. Nothing much to say about that. It's a CFP, Classics for Pleasure. It should be okay. I don't know. I've seen this one so many times. 2 Renaissance dance books. 16th century music. Not that much interested in that, so I'll be selling that. Tchaikovsky Piano Concerto number 2, and Nigel Kennedy is playing on this one, probably in the orchestra. Well, obviously in the orchestra. Peter Donahoe, the Tchaikovsky Prize winner, is playing this. So let's have a look. Is that a big dog? Yep. It's a big dog 80s pressing, direct metal mastering. So it's not, is it digital? Yeah, it's digital. It should be okay. Sibelius Violin Concerto, Classics for Pleasure. The soloist is Eugene Sarbu. Never heard of Sarbu. Never heard of Eugene Sarbu. Let's see where Eugene Sarbu comes from. Was born in Romania. Okay, Romanian violinist. That's also got Finlandia on it. And Christina Ortiz, Shostakovich number 2. I've seen that many times. That's a very common record. I'll probably be selling that for a fiver. It's a dog stamp. Let's move on to Decca. Decca, this is where the excitement starts. Well, not really, because a lot of these are Dutch pressings. Rachmaninoff with Ashkenazi, that's a Dutch pressing. I like this. Well, I've never had this before. I've never even seen it before. Even in the old days, Georges Paulet playing Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto number 3. Now, I don't know what that will sell for. I honestly don't, but it's in such immaculate condition. You know, my instinct, especially a big work like Rachmaninoff's 3rd Piano Concerto, is that it might fetch as much as £20. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe yes, maybe no. Sometimes I guess at the value of a record and I find out I'm completely wrong, because on the 80s records, particularly digital ones, I'm not quite so knowledgeable. It's mainly my speciality in those days when I used to deal was mainly 50s through to the 70s, perhaps early 80s. Rachmaninoff Concerto 1 and 2, another Dutch pressing. I think Dutch pressings are fine, but collectors prefer English pressings for the Deccas. Kyunghwa Chung, that's a Dutch pressing, sadly. It would fetch about £15 if it was an English pressing. But, you know, I like these works, and I'm sure that'll be great to listen to, so I don't mind keeping it. Backhouse on an SPA, Moonlight Sonata, I think that's from an SXL. That's stereo. And then we've got some mono recordings reprocessed for stereo, which I'll probably be keeping all of these because I don't think they'll sell. Rachmaninoff, Rhapsody on a Theme of Paganini. Oh, another great Bollé record. Again, I would probably price that at £20. George Bollé, digital. So yeah, I really like that. So there's another one. Eclipse, reprocessed for stereo. Rossini and Dukas. Munchinger, Vivaldi, Four Seasons. Yep, that's a fake stereo. SPA, Symphony No. 5, and the Karelia Sleep with Gibson. Another Chung, famous record this. That's worth keeping. Super performances of the Tchaikovsky and the Sibelius. That is a Dutch pressing. Shostakovich No. 5. I've got a good Shostakovich on Chandos No. 5. That's a digital with Yavi conducting. So I'll have a listen to this, and I'll probably sell one or the other, the Chandos or this, probably for a tenner. George Malcolm, Scarlatti Sonatas. Okay, that's reprocessed for stereo from mono, but who cares? I mean, it's only a harpsichord anyway, and I mean, for keyboard, you're not going to notice too much difference between mono, if it's just solo keyboard, mono and stereo. Okay, so we're getting there. Let's see, what else have I got to look through? Just a moment, please. Just picking out a few more, some which are not the big labels. If you just, here we go. It's worth having a look at these. Right, let's just go through these quickly. Vivaldi, bassoon concertos. The Four Seasons, Hogwood. Vivaldi, Gloria. Sibelius No. 4 on CBS with Bernstein. And we've got Mussorgsky, Night on a Bare Mountain on Philips. Got Previn conducting Walton, Symphony No. 1. We've got a couple of Bach harpsichord concertos there. That's actually from a charity shop for £1. I don't know, I probably shouldn't have bought that, but it was in such good condition, I just couldn't resist it. Pictures at an exhibition. Yeah, that's with Sergei Ozawa conducting on a gold seal. Carmina Burana. I don't like these jackets. I think they're absolutely horrible. I mean, they're made to look like a newspaper. I absolutely hate these jackets, but you know, I'll listen to the performance and see what it's like. Got another CBS here, Bernstein, Bizet Symphony in C, Prokofiev Classical Sonata, Symphony. We've got Mendelssohn, and we've got Kletsky conducting Schubert's Unfinished. That's taken from a white and gold ASD, and they've put that onto a Music for Pleasure. Chopin, Piano Favorites, that's a compilation. I don't usually buy sort of compilations like this, but Ludwig Hoffmann, never heard of him. You know, I mean, some of these unusual soloists, if you see them, they're worth taking because, I don't know, I'm not sure why I bought that, but just because it's an unusual soloist. La Mer, Haitink on a Philips. And we've got Bach playing a couple of, we've got Pinnock, a couple of Bach concertos. That should be quite good. I'd sell that for probably £10 to £15. I think that's about it, really. Okay. There are a few others, but I picked up some from a charity shop. They're not really worth going through. Don't really merit me including them. So I really wanted to tell you about this collection. So yeah, okay. I hope there'll be no sound faults with this because I'm going to upload it again and hope that there are no sound faults. So I apologize for that previous video. and I've got a lot of work to do. I'm going to eventually post a link to my eBay shop. So if any of you are interested, or if you've seen any records which you're particularly keen on, which I've showed in this video, or any other videos and you're interested, particularly if you live in the UK, shipping costs, I mean, for £5, I could send, like half a dozen records. So, I mean, some of these I could let go for sort of like £3 or £4 each, meaning that you could buy 6 records off me in really good condition, including shipping, for £20, which is pretty good, because think about all the traipsing around you'd have to do to charity shops to pick some of these up. But I'll post a link in due course to my eBay shop below my videos. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I do look forward, as usual, to your comments. Bye for now.